A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Flush to his right. And this one's incomplete.
Well, one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. A solid pickup of 13 sets him up 1st and goal.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Denver. A great effort there with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Broncos are in for 6. And, Charles, when you catch that toss going right or left, really, but right in this instance, do you go straight for the pylon? Is that where you're going?
Well, typically you want to try and maneuver people a little bit so you have some space to get to the pylon. So I want to make sure I try and move them a little bit to the inside, and in this case to the left, so I can get to the right side and get to that pylon and wink at it as I go by.
Extra point from McManus is good, and that makes the score 14-7. Now McManus on to kick this one off. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. And the Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that, they had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Here we go. What? 90. What? 90.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards.
Hey, here we go. What? 90. What? 90.
On play action, they'll throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
Let's go. What? 90. What? 90.
Looking to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the offense does cover this one, but back inside their own 5-yard line. Now the Broncos are going to take a timeout as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. Here comes the Buccaneers punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. And taken right at the 35. Oh, he slipped right by him. A good return there, 17 yards. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. They're in the second quarter now in Oakland. The Raiders are out to an early lead. I have a feeling that one's going to stay tight throughout. We'll continue to monitor. They'll come out throwing here on first down. He's going to fire one deep left sideline. That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
All right, here we go. Boom, landed.
Now back to throw. Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the second down play, they burn the timeout, making him sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter. The Broncos on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 17.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue landed. Blue landed. Gone, gone. Gone, gone.
They'll look to throw here. He's going to loft one deep left side here. This is intercepted. Picked off at the 19. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. So we come upon halftime with the visiting Broncos taking the lead to the locker room. As we send you a stone's throw away across I-4 to Orlando. There standing by is Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach? This is taken about 7 yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A very solid gain of 27. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Now they'll run it on the toss. Takes this to the 32, maybe the 31. Defensively rallying to the ball after the nice move. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. He'll drop to throw. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 11. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
On first down, Scott. And he's got this one just across midfield to the 49. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
He's got his man on the crossing route. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. They'll run on first down. Scott stops short of the 25. The nice move couldn't ultimately free him. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Here we go.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. That's going to be caught. 23 yards on the play. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of...
And Evans calls it in. Touchdown, Bucks. Mike Evans, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Buccaneers are an extra point away from tying up this football game. Now Sturgis on to add the extra point. Sturgis for the extra point, and we are tied at 14. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And coming out now, the Broncos. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate, and of course they'd like to forget the ending, the interception, but they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Escaping the pressure. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not.
I know there would be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and ended up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. And a hit jarring it loose. It's incomplete.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Set. Green 39. Green 39. Watching that Barney. Detroit.
He'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Buccaneers Buccaneers have it. Let's see now, Charles. That's 7 turnovers between last week and this week. 3 here in this game, 4 in last week's.
You know I do my research, right? And I go all the way back to the best coaches that have ever been in this game, and all of them started with ball security in some form or another, understanding that taking care of the ball was the key to winning games. They can't believe what they're seeing right now because they spend all this time on it with the fundamentals, taking care of it, tucking it away, and they're not doing it.
Room to run inside the 40. 20, 10, touchdown, Tampa Bay. A big play there. His 3rd touchdown of the game and 4th on the year. And the Bucs are going to take the lead. Well, plays like that make the O coordinator look like a genius, but I don't think he saw that play going that well.
No, I don't think so either. But, boy, it all worked out perfectly. They caught them in the right defense, guys dropping off into coverage, their eyes averted somewhere else, and guess what? He filled the void with his legs.
Weaving through traffic, and now he's free. 30, the 20.
All right, let's give credit where credit is due. How about that return? Great blocking, great vision, all the way down to the 2-yard line. The only person who has to be upset, the guy who didn't get it into the end zone. That far and no reward?
McManus's point after is good, and we are tied at 21. So all square here in this 3rd quarter as the kick's away. That's fielded in the end zone. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. On the NFL scoreboard, 3rd quarter from Oakland. The Raiders there have opened a 2-touchdown advantage. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here.
Here we go. What? 90. What? 90.
Back to throw now on 1st down. And that's incomplete. Adam Shaheen was the intended target. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
Let's go. Brad 38. Brad 38.
They'll drop to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
He's got to be kicking himself right there. His team's already picked off 2 passes. That would have been the 3rd in the game. And, boy, they've really played well attacking the football.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Here we go. What? 90. What? 90.
And the blitz does come. Flushed out right. He can run for it, and he will. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, 1st down.
Someone knew exactly where he needed to get to pick up that 1st down now. I'm not so sure about the technique in getting there, but he went for it, and he got it.
Exactly. He knew where he needed to get, because remember, if he slides, when that derriere dips, if you will, that play's over.
The derriere dips, I like that one.
Yeah, been working on it for a little bit. Over the middle, the tight end Shaheen with it. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10.
Ohio!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Oh, leaves him behind on the spin. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. It's their quarterback. A 12-yard touchdown run. And the Bucs are going to take the lead. And it's good. That makes it a 28-21 game. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise it's going to be a long day for you.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Flush to his right. Now he's going to throw deep. And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. An excellent pickup of 34 yards. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. This will be caught inside the 10. And all the way home for a Broncos score. In for the score. And the Broncos are an extra point away from tying the football game. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And that last touchdown drive, a good mix of pass and run. Defensively, they just looked a little out of whack.
And it's so hard to stay up with an offense that has things going so well where you're guessing and guessing wrong play after play. So what you need is someone on the defensive side of the ball
leader, right?
to make a big play.
Yeah.
Throw that balance out of whack. That's what you're looking for now. Not worrying so much about guessing what the play call is.
On 1st down, Scott. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Here we go. Red 38. Red 38.
They're going to look to throw. Going for the deep ball. And that is caught. One-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. Back now here on EA Sports. All even as we get ready to start the 4th. So the big play has them all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10.
Let's go.
They'll run on 1st down. Scott. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 11 more on that one and another 1st down.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Able to get there and pick it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So now he's equaled his interception total from a week ago. Remember, Charles, he had 3 last week.
And you know, all week long he vowed to take that number down. Told the guys on the team, don't worry, things are going to pick up. I've got this. But he is in a major league rut right now. Let's see if his teammates can pick him up along the way.
You're right. He talked about being cool, calm, collective, rebounding. Not rebounding right here. And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards.
Lucky 56.
They'll set up to throw. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Escaping the pressure right. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. I don't think that was a blitz, was it?
No, not at all. I mean, there was no blitz called on the play. Had other responsibilities, but he saw an opportunity, saw a path, and he took it.
Now let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it won't count for 6. He's brought down, but inside the 5. 1st and goal at the 4-yard line.
Well, so much for the 4-minute offense. They were trying to reduce the clock, get in position to win the game, and leave no time for them to come back and catch them. And guess what? They turned the ball over. Yeah, I mean, they had it all set up for themselves, and they let it get away.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that'll make it 2nd and goal. He'll get it up the middle, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
On goal-to-goal runs, when you create lost yardage plays, the only way that happens is either called pressure or what I like to call straight-ahead pursuit. A great read, and they get to the backfield and make the play.
And that was a big chunk of yardage lost. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll just chuck this one up into row G. It's incomplete.
Well, to say that this has not been his game is probably a big understatement. I mean, he is all over the place. Mechanics are off, not accurate, except if you're playing on defense because they picked off a good number of passes.
Yeah, all the INTs, but they're throwing it off his back foot. Pressure coming, just chucking it downfield. He can't do that right now.
No, you can't do that at all. And I think one of the hardest things for a guy having a day like this one is to find a way to just kind of get out of it, kind of get yourself back to neutral. Because what you try and do is make even more spectacular plays to make up for it, and it usually leads to more bad ones.
The bottom line, tremendous starting field position, really squandered there as they wind up going backwards and then come up with just 3.
Well, getting the 3 turned out to be important. I can imagine the head coach when he ordered the field goal, please salvage something out of this drive. That was not fun to watch.
The Broncos offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though? when they only gave up the field goal, and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive, a little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach would be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punch in the end zone without turning it over.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3.
Watch it now, Barney.
Now a handoff looking right. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Now they'll run it on the toss. Into the secondary again. And down to the 29-yard line. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
Well, they're certainly running the ball pretty well on this drive, and all I remember as a secondary guy was if you're making a lot of tackles in a game, that's usually not good for your defense. You've got to figure out how to keep things in front of you because you know there's 3 levels, defensive line, linebackers, and into the secondary. And if the 3rd level is leading your team in tackles, as a general rule, things aren't going so well for your defense.
And they'll go on the ground. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And down he goes, a Buccaneer sack.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
All things considered, a pretty good kick. Just cruel punishment there to be denied by the crossbar.
If you're going to hit from that distance, sometimes you're going to need a little luck. And unfortunately for him, this time the break goes against him.
Good starting field position for him as they come up 1st and 10. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And that winds up a decent run, and it also takes us to the 2-minute warning. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing.
Come on, let's go. Brad 38.
Now this time he'll look to throw. Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. Trying to get it to Woods. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator.
Now the ball comes loose, but this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same.
Now, I have to admit, partner, that I've often thought that I don't like this rule, where the offensive player fumbles the ball, it goes out of bounds, and they get to keep it.
That's just because you're a defensive guy. That's why you don't like it.
Yeah, you're right. It is a slanted view, isn't it?
But this is where, for the offensive team, the sideline is their friend. Usually it's not their friend.
Yeah, exactly right. I actually played for a guy in college. You know what he used to name the sideline? Sammy. Sammy sideline, and use him well.
They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. He's back to throw. Flushed out right. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts, as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down.
Detroit! Detroit! Gone! 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 Watch him now, Barney! Barney!
Back to throw. Flush to his right. And he rifles one incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he let him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Jonathan Hankins in on the stop. An incompletion, now a short pickup. That's not going to do it.
Yeah, you've got to get to the line of scrimmage quickly, get set up, and aim downfield.
The Broncos on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. They'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. 4th down now defensively. Charles, you know, they're just asking this crew for one more stop.
And you know that they're feeling the momentum right now, but they have to be very careful not to get over-exuberant, overexcited, and blow an assignment and give up the big first down.
I tell you, the life of a kicker. He has not been called on the entire game. He's over there by the net, but they send him out here in the 4th quarter and say, hey, go tie the game, will you? And guess what? He comes through.
I just don't know how they do it. I really don't. These cats are a different breed from you and me. That's a pressure kick, but that one was never in doubt.
Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play, but if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. And he powers his way up past the 30. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as he'll stop it with 11 seconds remaining in the ball game. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. And here come the whistles and a timeout with 7 seconds left. to throw. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock. Mike Evans, the one he was looking for. And that'll make it 3rd down. He has had a great game defensively. He's been east-west, north-south, everywhere.
Yeah, and I love how you described that, because to be a great defender, you have to be able to move up and back, sideline to sideline, and he's been fantastic. Reminds me of a young Charles Davis when he was playing Madden.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, wow, I thought you were going on the field, but okay, I see you. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Now the Buccaneer offense gets set to take over. They control their own destiny here. They have the football in overtime. Obviously, a touchdown would win it.
And I think teams around the league are still adjusting to the idea of going downfield, scoring a touchdown wins the game, because they were used to just going downfield and trying to get in field goal range to win a game. Still having to make that transition. Let's face it now, the ones who are doing it best know they need to go down, attack, put the ball in the end zone, and not leave it up to a field goal and give the other team a chance.
And as we said, they control their own destiny. And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. And he's into the end zone for the touchdown and the game winner in OT. My partner, a great game that we got to see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, trying to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for my meal later.
You really just wanted 4 quarters, what you wanted. But how much fun was that? We had that type of a game where we got us to overtime, and then we get the dramatic ending to finish things off as well. What a game.
So for Tampa Bay, they make amends for their Week 1 loss by winning their home opener. And next week, they get to